excellence as we go along. We will change this country, and we will get digital skills to all our learners. Nobody's going to be left behind. All right. And we're here as a community to support each other. All right. Okay, I'm just going to say, Casper, we started the next session.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay, awesome. All right, so that was a brief introduction. I don't know whether anybody needs to run and make some coffee or something, but we are now on unit number 2. And now we get to actually, so how do we build robots? And what we're going to present in this session is really an overview of how do you build robots. And I've got 2 robots here, and I'm suddenly remembering that I don't have the other robots here. So sometimes, so this is a little baby robot. This is a Spike Prime robot. It kind of has a design from a previous building instructions, and then it was modified. And then this is Mario. This is the Mario. This is the champion robot from my team that never got to compete internationally for South Africa because of COVID. But this is Mario the robot. You can see there's great building, great engineering fundamentals, and it performs as well as it's built. All right. But where do you start? So you can't just start building robots. You need to work with your learners to build robots, and we need to encourage you to start at one space and just keep moving, because we want the learners to learn the fundamentals. All right, so let me start my presentation, and here we go. All right, and then I need somebody to, of course, tell me whether they can see my screen as usual. Same. All right, there we go. Yes?
Just waiting for it. And yes, I can see the screen, Dr. House.
Awesome. All right, we can hide this because Tamela said I must hide this. All right, so we're on to building robots. Remember, we've got building, and then we've got programming, which we're going to do tomorrow. And then somewhere in between are our 21st century skills that we're going to develop with our learners. And we want competent and confident learners. So we want to encourage you as the coaches to be competent and confident coaches. All right. So here we are at designing and building robots, and we're going to present 2 options to you: to either physically build robots like these, or to develop a design and a building robots virtually, which Casper's going to then present for us today. I need to just pause also here. There is a whole range of robots you can build, all right, but you have to start somewhere. Similarly, there's a whole range of robots that you can virtually design, but we have to start somewhere. And so we're going to start today. All right. So the designing and building of the robot, the practical design and building of it are actually presented as part of M1 and M2. So in M1, we do chassis building. So that's the body of the robot. And then we add, that's wrong. It's not powered attachments. It's supposed to be passive attachments. Oh my goodness. M1 is passive attachments. So attachments that are not linked to any motors. And then in M2, on the building part, we start adding sensors to make a robot a little bit cleverer. And then we start doing gearing, and we do powered attachments, which are then programmed. All right. So in all times when we're designing, this is the form. We have to have a design, which is the form of the robot, and the functioning part is the programming, and we're going to do that tomorrow. All right. So how do we physically build these robots? And for those that are on grade 1, 2, and 3, we use the We Do sets, and we make little robots. Okay. The We Do building set has now been replaced by Spike Essential, but I still use the We Do. I still use the Spike Essential. We kind of use them interchangeably. What is important is rather that the learners are encouraged to explore building and programming robots. And we've had phenomenal success with teams that are really enjoying and having the fun of building a robot. So then in grade 4 to grade 10, we use the EV3 robotics kit or the Spike Prime. So you'll notice that the EV3 is the gray brick, gray and white brick, whereas your little Spike Prime has got a yellow brick. But what is really important, though, is we have one kit and we have many designs. And so and I'm going to show you some building instructions. So where you start building from building instructions, what you actually want is your learners to start designing their own robots and modifying existing designs. But that can only come from when you start, you have a great foundation. All right. So we build from building instructions, and then gradually we start building our own designs, and we start building our own forms of robots. Okay. So how do building instructions work? Wordless. All right. So this is this is a page from the building instructions for a Riley rover. Yeah, and in Riley rover we can build and program a robot. We have a 67-minute for Nelson Mandela workshop. We can get learners to build and program robots in 67 minutes, and it's phenomenal fun, and it's very loud, but we can get it done. So this is what it looks like. So these are kind of if you have a building instructions, you have to get 4 connectors and an axle, and then you take the motor, and that's what you've got to do with it. You know, there's no words. I would encourage you though to be very cognizant of the fact that to convert a 2-dimensional design like this on paper to a 3-dimensional robot, that is part of the skills that you develop in these 21st century skills. And if you can work as a team to build a robot, so if you get 4 learners to build 1 robot, then you've got 21st century skills developing right there. And on tomorrow afternoon, I will show you where you can go and look for building instructions. But if anybody wants to jot it down, you can look at prime lessons, and you can look at EV3 lessons, and you can actually just type in building instructions EV3 or building instructions Spike Prime, and the robotics community is very keen and eager to share. All right, so now we're going to build a robot. But now for this to happen, we have to assume that you have a kit. All right, but we don't want to delay your building enthusiasm. So for that, we are introducing some virtual designs and building, and almost like a CAD system. And I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the following. So the one is Lego Digital Designer. And what you'll find is that Lego Digital Designer was used for a long time, to teach learners to build, to design something, to build. But what they also used is to re-engineer. So learners would design this really cool attachment for their robot. And then what we would do is we would get the learners to put that design into the system so they could or reverse engineer their design. And so they had their building instructions for something that they had designed. Okay. Bricklink Studio is the new kid in the block. And then Tinkercad. And as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking we need to actually have Tinkercad as a totally separate workshop. So I must just make a note of that on my little list here. All right. So Lego Digital Designer, you can download it. And what we're going to show you tomorrow is a program called Virtual Robotics Toolkit, or VRT. Please don't download it yet. I've got a key for you that you can test it, or you can do a trial version of it. But it's a lot of fun, the Virtual Robotics Toolkit, because you can also play with the robot. All right. So just to show you around, this is the kind of environment for Lego Digital Designers, but you can also download other people's designs. Okay, and then so Builder Dude 35 is a guy, he was a young guy about 7 years ago. He's grown up, a very great contributor to this online community. But you can see that there are Lego Digital Designer. There is a plethora of examples of designs, of things that you can build. Up the top here, there's the basics of Lego Digital Designer. Here is a Builder Dude 35, the young man that gives you tutorials, but really good to play around with concepts. All right. And then there are a gazillion designs that you can import, and also here with instructions on how to build. And I'm just going to go through this. So when you start your design, you install Lego Digital Designer, you open it, and then you select Lego Mindstorms, and then you can start building the program or building a robot. Okay. And there's all kinds of icons. So those are the attachments or the components that you put into your robot, and there's parts, and then you drag and drop it. And there's a toolkit which you can clone and hinge and all kinds of functions, but there is help for the Lego Digital Designer. Okay. So now just before you think, oh, I can't do this. So if your design is done, then you can actually build the design, and you can view your design, and you can build a guide. All right. So this is the kind of robots that you can design. The cool thing about Lego Digital Designer and the Bricklink Studio that Casper is going to demonstrate now is that you can have it installed on every single computer in your computer lab. And so every single learner can design their own robot. Okay. So that is kind of what it would be. You'd save it, and then you've got it, and you can share it, and you can have an example of what you've built. All right, that's Lego Digital Designer. And then you can share it as well. But what we're going to demonstrate to you today, I'm hoping Casper is still on the call, is he's going to demonstrate Bricklink Studio. So you can import Spike Prime parts as well And then you can also, these are interchangeable, so you can read and write Lego Digital Designer files as well, and you can edit it and you can share your designs. Okay, so Casper, I'm going to stop here and say this is where we are. This is Bricklink Studio if you want to go and download it and install it on your computer. This is what Casper is going to show you of how to manipulate electronic things. And there's the prime lessons. There's a whole lot of lessons that you can follow under prime lessons as well if you want more information. Okay, so Casper is now going to give us a Bricklink Studio demonstration to build a robot virtually. And then tomorrow we're going to deal with programming the robots, the different options. And then in the late session, in the Unit 4 session, I'm going to show you where are the more resources and how do you deal with all these resources short of being overwhelmed. All right, so I'm going to pause now, and Casper, it's over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Host. Okay,
you're welcome.
Let me just share my screen quickly.
Okay, we can see it. There we go.
All right, thank you very much. So this is now the software called Bricklink Studio. So as you can see, it's a lot of colorful designs at the moment. Here we have some of my old previous designs that I've made on it, and some of the designs that you can get online at the moment. So what we want to do is we want to create a new design. So you say design from scratch, and it will give you your own palette. Then we need to decide which. Then we have to import our. I won't go into the detail of how to import your palettes, which set. I'm just gonna give you. Yes.
So sorry to cut you there. Could you kindly please maximize that screen that you are busy with, because it's small, and I feel like people might not see it clearly, please.
Okay, let's see if it helps anything.
There we go. Thank you so much. Continue. Okay. Thank you.
Now, okay, then what we're gonna do is I've already saved this, but I'll explain this later on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose which set. We're gonna use the Spike Prime for today. And then on this side here, we have all the items that we can use in that specific set. So what we're going to use is I'm going to build a small robot on this side here, the driving base one. And this is now the instructions that Dr. Gijs was talking about. And all we're going to do is we're just going to follow this instructions and build the robot. So let's see. So the first part is we need a horizontal beam. So now we're just going to look through here on the left side to find the correct beam. Here we have. Okay. And we can use our mouse to move the screen around as we see fit and how we need to do it and how we want to see it. Next step, we need to add all our connectors. So here on the side here, we can see we need 6 connectors, and we also see where those 6 connectors need to be. So here on the left-hand side, we also have small shortcuts. After a while, you remember all the names of each and every component, then you can look for it. So for example, to connectors are linkers. So we just press here, and then you will see we have 93 connectors in this set. We just press on it, we drag them, and we use the arrow keys to move it, to rotate it in the correct position. And then all we do right now is we redo this step 6 times as the instructions shows us it needs to be on this side here and on this side here. Okay. And then also one thing that is nice about this program is if your team has if, for example, your learners create a robot from their own design and they want to save that design, they can now here on this side, it shows you what is that part and in what step did you do it. So you can add steps at each row, at each point in time to show how we built this robot and how we, every single step by step. Okay. Now we need, the next part is we just need to add our motors. And this is another part that all the learners will go on and they will now do in real life with a real robot and with all the pieces. So one person will be looking for the pieces, and then the other learners will then go and connect these pieces to each other in the correct positions.
Johannes, with your permission, can I take questions as we go along?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Mr. Spoo, feel free to unmute yourself. Okay. So while Mr. Spoo is unmuting themselves, I've got a question.
Yes, yes.
So you download the Bricklink Studio. So after downloading the Bricklink Studio, so does it automatically have these instructions? I mean, these pieces on it, or do you have to download them separately?
No, so what you have to do is we have to go here to, we have to press this button here, and then we have to say configure. And then we have to go and look for the number of the set that we want to use. So for example, the spike prime is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So then we go and we say, choose a new palette, import from an official Lego set. And then we just add that number that we just got. And then it will show you here, after it's loading, what is that set. So it shows me it is a spike prime. Press on it and we import it.
Import. All right.
And then it shows you if there was any problems downloading that program or not.
All right. Sweet. Mr. Spoo, do you have a question? I see Sinamele has a question on their side while Casper is continuing. Please unmute yourselves. Or if not, Casper, you can continue.
Okay. So there is a few shortcuts that we can use. We can use the control, and then we can select multiple parts at the same time. And we can say Control C to copy and Control V to paste. And then we can select multiple and connect them all together at the same place that we want to do, because we can see they need to be in the following spots. And so we continue.
Mr. Johannes, sorry to disturb you again. I see Mr. Spoo's microphone is unmuted. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry guys to disturb. I had a problem of I had some glitches on my network, so some of the parts I didn't see them. Is it possible for me to get maybe the video so that I can catch up?
Definitely yes.
Or there is a link or something.
You'll get the recording tomorrow morning, as Casper indicated, for today's session.
It will be available on the UNISA's YouTube portal.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Rorisang, is your question related to what Casper is doing there? Unmute yourself, please.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, what's the name of this application?
It's called Bricklink Studio.
Can I get an email of a link where you downloaded it so that I can download it?
So the link is here in the chat. I'll just copy and paste it again.
Okay, thank you.
All right. I think, Mr. Johannes, I'll leave you to presenting.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. Thank you so much. Go ahead.
Pleasure. So yeah, so now we just continue following the instructions. This is now just for if you don't have this robot at the same, can we just continue pasting it? So, okay, and this is also one of the things that is nice about this program. It shows you cannot place the robot there because it is conflicting and there is already something in that spot there. It's because now we need to try and put this part here, but now, okay, so the next step is we need to start with the other side of the brick. So I'm just going to move this to the one side of our designing table and get our robots underneath. Okay. So the next part is we need 3 beams with 2 special connectors. Let's find the
Okay,
correct
while you're
pass here.
looking for those 3 beams with 2 special connectors, I see Hlingiwe's hand was up. Go ahead, Hlingiwe.
But Tumelo, ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi singayithola phi le set le yama robotic equipment.
Ku Bricklink Studio manje. The way ayenza ngakhona ubhuti, uKest.
No, ukuthi siyithingele kube yethu nathi sikwazi ukuyisebenzisa nabantwana njengesikole.
Oh, okay. So that one you get it on hands-on technologies.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Ngizayibeka
Okay,
ku chat.
ngiyabonga.
All right. You can continue, Meneer Johannes.
Thank you. So now I'm selecting I am using, because of my experience, I know already, I can see there are a few parts that we need to move on certain parts. So what I'm doing is I'm using the control function and selecting multiple parts. And all I'm doing is copying them and pasting them into their correct positions. And then when you want to select multiple, you just hold in your left button and then select everything, and it creates a square and it selects everything in that area for you. And then you can see it needs to be how it needs to go. So we need to do, the next part is we need to add another beam with the iron ball for the cast iron ball for maneuvering. Is there any questions so far on this software?
So far so good. You did indicate that. Oh wait, let me go to the chat box. Sorry, I see there's a chat saying that our 4-year-old is watching with me and getting excited. It's Legos. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. And I see that P. Muller says, can you use Bricklink Studios as a virtual substitute for robotics kit until you are able to get the actual Spark Prime kits in class?
Yes.
Definitely, yes. And then I see Wiseman Ngobo says, is it possible to write down those instructions starting from downloading Bricklink? I think it's simpler, Mr. Ngobo, because you simply use the link that Casper indicated and then you can take it from there. It's not a train smash, but you can let us know if it's difficult on your side. And I see Zintle says, unfortunately on my side, the screen is black, but I can hear Casper clear. So for the likes of Zintle and the other ones who are struggling due to network connectivities, please note that the recording will be shared tomorrow on the YouTube link. And then I see Penny says, is Bricklink free or is there paid content?
Yes, so it is free to use, and and the nice thing about it is if you search online by pressing in Google, going onto Google, you can get multiple designs that you can open in Bricklink to see them. There is one thing I want to maybe just add. If you go here underneath the main part, it shows you all the different Lego parts that were ever created. So you can even search something like a figure. Then you can even create your own Lego men, and it shows you how, for example, the small headed one, and then you can create your own figures and any other Lego pieces that you can think of. They have here that you can use, and it is lots of fun if you want to play with it, around with it. Yep. Okay, so the next part. So the next part here, I just wanted to show you all. So the next part is we need to take the rig on this side, and then we need to move it over to the side on the right-hand side onto the 2 motors. We just make this a big screen. Okay.
So while you are creating a big screen there, I see Dr. Kho's hand was up.
Okay. Yes, Doctor?
I think it's also important, Casper, Casper's now building a robot, but sometimes the learners also need to get used to building attachments. So again, building a robot is really exciting, but there's more to it than just building a robot. You can build attachments, you can build passive attachments, you can build powered attachments. And so there's this whole range of designs that the learners can grapple with, and each can grapple with their own design. So the application is immense. It gets also learners to think in 3 dimensions. Thanks, Casper. Carry on. Sorry.
That's fine. And plus, the one thing that is also nice is you can have a digital, entire digital library of all your old robots. And if you want to remember how you built that robot, or if there was something special about that robot you wanted to remember, so then you can take this program and then create your own entire steps on how you built it. And you can even add some comments on what was this step, or what would you, or anything that you want to remember of that robot, or any special attachments that you create that worked extremely well. Yeah, the only thing I'm going to skip now is the wiring, because there isn't, it doesn't show the wires on this program, unfortunately. So we're just going to skip those 2 steps. Okay, and then the only thing we still need to add is our wheels, and then our robot is done.
There we go. Easy peasy. Thanks, Casper. Well done. Woohoo!
Yeah. And this is now our robot, a small robot that we just built using the building instructions. And then we can find, and then we built it now. And now the most important part of every single programming, or even we all know in real life with our computers, we need to save our program. So we go here to File, Save As, then we go to here and we say, this was the drive robot. It was just the drive. And then we save, and that program is saved forever. Then we have our small robot that we can go and we just built.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right. Thank you so much, Meneer Johannes. You wanted to say something, Dr. Gous?
No, I'm just inspired. It's just so easy.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Meneer Johannes, can I recap a bit?
Yes. I was just going to show you, while you're recapping, I'm just going to show another robot while you recap. Continue.
All right. So from what you have taught us here is that you can simply go and download Bricklink Studio for free. That's number 1, yes?
Yes.
And number 2, you said in order for one to have Spark Prime on this software, where do we get it?
Okay. So what we do is we Google this Spark Prime, and then we get the number. We'll get the number 45678.
Okay.
Then we just go here to configure. We just say add a new palette. And we say the next part is import an official Lego set. Then we enter the number that we want to enter, 45678. And then we'll get the entire set. We just say then you don't even need to enter the 1 because it's always there. We always say is import, and it will automatically import your entire set into this area here. And we just press on that button and we'll take us straight to our set.
All right. Do you have any questions regarding Casper's presentation? Or otherwise, Casper, you can continue in the meantime.
Yeah, this is, for example, one of the EV3, one of the previous robots that we can just take. I think I still have an NXT. So one of the first robots that were built of the first sets here we have, and we just got it right to take the design of that robot and convert it into a electronic file so that we can always remember how to use this robot or how this robot was built.
The robot's name is Mozart, by the way.
Yes. Yes. So and then also we have multiple functions here that we rarely use. For example, I wouldn't suggest any new if a person is very new to Bricklink, I would suggest not using the render or the stability button, because the stability will just check for you where is the stability problems in your robot. For example, it sees a problem with the wheels and some of the connectors, or with the robot that we just built, it sees, so with this robot, it doesn't see any problems with this robot stability. And the render button is just to, if you want to create photos, but I really wouldn't suggest anybody use that button because it does take a lot of your PC's computing power, and unfortunately it will, it's very draining. But otherwise, the only ones that you would use is either the Spike, or if you want to use the EV3, you can type in 45544 and you'll get the core set for the EV3 and 45678 for the Spike.
Cool.
Any other questions?
All right. Kindly please feel free to unmute yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, or feel free to raise your hand so that Meneer Johannes can answer your questions. He's still here, he's not going anywhere.
Hi, it's Pio
yes.
here.
Yes.
So I just wanted to find out if is it possible for one to get this software on a phone, or is it only on laptops and computers?
I only know of the computers and the laptop, unfortunately. I don't know if it's on the cell phone yet for the Bricklink, but the programming for the robots are on the cell phone also.
Okay, please send the link on the chat, Robbie.
It has been shared, Steve. It has been sent. Please
Okay,
check
so
your
it's sent again.
chat box.
Okay, thanks.
I see there's a hand as well.
Yeah. Okay, yes, Shannon, I see your hand is up.
Tomorrow.
Yes. How can I help you today?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I just want to find out when is the training session? What time is the training session tomorrow?
Same time as today, from 3 to 5 tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions so far? Or is everybody ready to build their own robots on the Bricklink or program them already?
Casper, is the Spike Essential also available?
I think so. It's just, you just need to have the robot set's name. Then you just go to the configure setting and then just enter that set's name, and you will be able to see if it is there or not, and then import it from there.
Okay, let me give you the number. Can I give you the number?
Okay, I'll find the number now. Okay.
I'll tell you what the number is. 45345.
Let me just add here. It is 45345. 345.
Yeah.
And the Spike Essential set.
Yeah.
Yep, it is on. Let me just share my window. Can you see my screen, Dr. House?
Yes.
Okay. So if you type in this, it will give you the Spike Essential set.
Okay.
Yay. All right, yeah. So this one here is just to show if there was any problems with some of the parts, but luckily none of these parts are at the moment essential for us. So if we go here, so here on this side, we will see if let's see if I can make it bigger. There we go. So this is these are all the parts that the Lego Spike Essential set has.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's even these old Legos that I have known for all my life, and yeah, then we can even add them here as we want. I did see if somebody did ask in the chat what if you make a mistake, or does the program tell you if you make a mistake? So what happens is if you put a piece of one of the pieces into a place that it won't go. For example, if I take this one here, it becomes completely see-through. So this is what happens, and this is the warning system that you are placing a block in the incorrect place. So then we just add it, we just change it to somewhere else, and it will automatically replace it to somewhere that it needs to be, to the correct place.
So Casper, can I just want to show you quickly for the we do set, the little brain is about so big, it's so yay big, and then you get all the motors. Oh, it's flashing at me. And then you get all the little motors, and the motors then it's a plug and play, so it clicks into the kind of clicks into. I feel like an EOS. It clicks in here and then it goes click.
Here is the motor, and here is the two motors and the brick.
There we go.
Oh yeah, and the battery.
And the battery. Yeah, it's inside. All right. Excellent.
And here are the small Lego men that we can create for ourselves. So we can mix and match them, and
there we go.
And we can also change anything that this is the fun thing about when we create these robots, or when we use this program, is we can change the color of any of the parts. So for example, we can make this bright yellow. We can make this one, let's say, here we go. There we go. And so on. And it's one of the fun parts about this. It is lots of fun if you just want the learners just to go, and if you, for example, I can see this one, I think you can create, you can create a lot of fun with this one, especially.
And it's about model designs as well. Excellent.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you there, Casper. We have a question from Umpo.
Yes, yes.
So feel free to unmute yourself, please.
Okay, yes, yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, we've got a.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I want to ask a question about Google's Spike Prime 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because like they are not appearing well on my computer, so even though when you were doing the demonstration, I was not seeing well.
Yeah.
Do you hear me?
Yes, yes. So we just figured out the number that we need to enter for the Spike Essential is we need to enter, we have to go here to configure, and then we just have to go to input, and then we say 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. That's the number that we need to enter. And then you will get it.
It's 4?
4, 5, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and then we just import it, and it will give you this entire set of the Lego Spike Essential set.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Yeah, so, and we can move everything around. For example, yeah, and like I said, if there is a problem, it won't allow you to, as you can see here, it won't allow me to release it here. So that's, it will show me it is a problem. I cannot move it there. Yeah.
Awesome.
Any more questions?
Casper, maybe just as a final comment, I just need to also tell everybody we have got a whole lot of attachments which Casper has designed in Bricklink Studio. So it aids in then teaching the learners how to put attachments together, because sometimes And we talked about this frame of reference. Learners don't know how to put these attachments together. And so these building instructions then just give you a picture of how to put the attachments together, what parts to use. All right. Thank you, Casper. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
There we go. Tumelo, over to you. You want to finish off the session?
We had a question from Shannon. Her hand was raised a long time ago, so I see she got tired. So I don't know whether she still has a question.
No, sorry. And Paul asked the question that I wanted to know. I wanted to know what the code was for the Lego Spart Essential Kit.
Okay,
Sweet.
cool.
Thank you so much. And I see here on the chats questions have been answered. And do we have any other questions before I let Meneer Johannes leave us? Any questions, please? Thank you so much once again, Johannes, for the great presentation. I feel like I'm ready now.
Thank you, Casper.
Yes, I see we don't have any other questions. Over to you, Dr. Goosen Kesper.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Casper. So that was like really scratching the surface on how to build our robots. But now the robot itself, we need to make it move. And so what we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to do the programming. Most of the programming principles kind of turn around. You either do a linear program, or you do in a loop, or you do a decision making. So those are the three structures, the flow controls that we're going to introduce tomorrow. So just so that you are not totally overwhelmed, I'm going to ask you if you have a moment tonight to see whether you can download either EV3 Classroom or Spike Prime, or just go and watch some tutorial videos on how to program a robot to move forward. Okay, so that is part of your homework, but without being too prescriptive. But it would be great if you kind of come to the session tomorrow, that we can have a lively discussion on how then do you actually program robots. There are also two virtual options for robots, and the one is the virtual robotics toolkit, which I'm going to demonstrate to you. There's another really cool little program, also free, called GearsBot. Now the robot doesn't look so lekker, but what's really cool about GearsBot is that you can program in Scratch. And whilst you're programming in Scratch, it generates the Python code for you. So at the same time, whilst you're learning your Scratch programming, you're learning Python programming as well. So that's GearsBot, Virtual Robotics Toolkit. And then I'll show you some EV3 Classroom programming of the robots as we know them. All right. All that is going to be obviously explained in M1 and M2, and we're going to do some practical sessions there. But this is just to give you an overview of where we're going with our programs and how we're going to teach our learners to program. I do have one last thing, and it kind of touched on when you said there were grade R to grade 3 teachers as well. There's another aspect to the grade R. It's the 6 bricks. So grade R to grade 1, 2, and 3, there is a program that is run by UNICEF. In collaboration with Care for Education. And what they are doing is they are introducing 6 bricks into all schools. Now, I know the rollout is happening, and I know some schools have already been issued with 6 bricks. Now, on the one hand, there is 6 bricks for just 6 bricks for all the activities. And there are enough activities to keep everybody very busy every day with 6 bricks. And there are also downloadable stuff. But the cool thing is we can start teaching programming principles to our grade R's with 6 bricks. And it's the unplugged programming. So if there is sufficient requests, and I don't want to just show everybody how to do 6 bricks unplugged. Maybe it's not relevant to all the teachers here. Maybe it's just relevant to the grade R 1, 2, and 3. So that is one of those things. If you want to find out more information about 6 bricks unplugged, if you'd send ISET an email, and in the top line just say 6 bricks, and then I will get a colleague in to come and explain how do you then introduce programming principles to learners using 6 bricks on the unplugged version. So that is an option. No, sorry, 6. Sorry, there are 6 bricks. Yeah, and I usually have them here on my desk because I fiddle with them. But they are, so it goes like this. So if you look up 6 bricks, sorry a minute, 6. I'm trying to type it in. Why can I not type it in here? All right, 6. Okay, yes, 6 bricks like that. So if you download 6 bricks, so on the one hand, you want learners to start listening, and it's about instructions, about comprehending instructions one after the other in a linear fashion, and then to make decisions. But I know that Care for Education are running it or are rolling it out with UNICEF to make sure all the schools have got 6 bricks. All right. So essentially, oh, that's sorted. All right. So there is an offer there. If you would like to find out more about 6 bricks unplugged programming, send ISET an email and just say add you to the list, and I'll maybe have a separate session then for the grade R 1, 2, and 3 unplugged with 6 bricks, especially as you have already been issued the 6 bricks by UNICEF. So it's a pity you're not using it. Thank you for that. But if you can send ISET an email and we'll add you to the list. Where am I? There we go. All right. All right. Where is the best place to buy Spike Prime Essential Kit? So at the moment, one of the issues. Okay, I'm not sure. The Spike Primes. One of the issues is that there's a consignment coming in March because of the shortage that COVID created of components. So now I'm just saying, Koala, can you just what a Lego mission set? What is the Lego mission set? I'm not understanding that.
Dr. Gers, I think it's about the challenge set maybe isn't not enough on that one maybe.
Oh, no. Okay, so your what you're talking about, the mission pieces, is about the robotics competition, and I'll explain that to you tomorrow. That comes in a long box. There is no robotics kit in the challenge set. The challenge set every year is themed, and it comes in a long box with a mat and some mission pieces to build the challenge pieces. Or the mission pieces, as you said. No. That's just extra, but you can use that to build your robot. But the challenge set itself does not contain the robotics parts like the brain, the sensors, the wheels, the motors. It's not in the challenge set. But you can definitely use the pieces from your mission pieces to enhance your robot. That is possible, absolutely. All right. Okay, so I am. Oh, there's a hand. Hi, Shannon. Yes.
Sorry, Doctor. You were busy explaining about the Spike Prime sets. When would they be available, and where could we buy them from?
Okay, so the Spike Prime sets are only available from Lego Education. Hands-on technologies. Hands-on technologies. All right. So there you can purchase them there. And what I was going to explain tomorrow is that I have a number of loan kits. Robotics kits, which you can loan for a year, and then you can to kickstart your robotics if you want to start it at your school. The idea being is we kickstart robotics at a school, then you get your funding, and then you go and buy your own kits, and then we reallocate all these loan kits to the next school. So that is the model play it forward model. That is where the kits come in. But if you have to purchase them, you will have to purchase them from Hands-on Technologies. I think the next consignment is coming in the beginning of March, and they are on a waiting list. So if you put your name on that waiting list, you will get your robotics kit. Yeah. Okay.
And Doctor, how do we get hold of you to get a loan kit?
Okay, I sent an email and just say you would like more information about the loan kits. Yes.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. Yes, so just on that, it's very interesting what's happening. We've been doing this for 3 years, and we already have lots of schools saying, we've got our plan, we've got our own funding, and now we're ready to pass it on. So that whole robotics kit then goes to another school, and ideally the teachers will then mentor the new teachers, and so we can build our community. Yeah, the need is very great in this country, but we're getting there. And creating these little hubs of excellence and supporting each other is definitely the way we're going to move forward. All right, Shannon. Okay. But you're welcome to send me an email. All right. So
thank you, Dr.
Okay, awesome. All right. If you hear in the background, I also rescue cats, and the cat needs food, so that's why he's crying like that. Okay. All right. I'm just so inspired. We've had an awesome session. We've had lots of questions. We've had lots of answers. We've had lots of discussion, and this is what this online community is about: is participation and sharing ideas and supporting each other. All right. So go and do your homework. I'm just going to share. Tumelo, do you have anything last word to say? Are we good?
I see Meneer Johannes posted the codes for one to include the Spark Prime expansion set, Spark Essential set, the logo EV3, as well as the expansion. I'm also putting it on my site here. Thank you so much for that, Meneer Johannes. So I'm going to encourage a lot of participants to make use of the chat box, because all the information is there on the chat box. I even see Casper has also included the link as well on the chat box. Thank you so much for that as well. Please don't hesitate to also email us for any inquiries that you might have. And for those that are watching the recording, I would also like to say thank you so much for taking time to watch the recording as well. Otherwise, thank you. See you on the next session.
We'll see you tomorrow at 3 o'clock. All right. So go play well, go and discover robotics, go and join the community, the virtual community. But we'll definitely make real communities as well. But this is the only way we're going to. One team at a time, one group of learners at a time, and we will be wow. All right. So I can share in my final, my vision. South Africa has put in a bid to host the Africa Open Robotics Championships in 2025. And I would like at least one team from every single province in this country. Let's see what we can do. Go forth, you inspired coaches, and we'll see you again then tomorrow at 3 o'clock. All right. Thank you, everybody. Stay well. Bye. Thank you, team.